This is lesson number 8 in a crash course in movable guitar chords. It's completely free, and you can download the free first movable guitar chords booklet from my website. The link is in the description. We're on page 8 of the first movable guitar chords booklet. Up to this point, there's always been something in your music telling you where to place your chords, but not so on this page. Instead, I'm going to take you through my process of deciding where I want to play my chords, and you can use that information to make your own decisions. Remember, this is a crash course in movable guitar chords. To really get these chords under your fingers, you need to play them as often as possible, and one really good way to do that is to play songs you already know, but play them with movable chords even when you can play them with open chords. When you're deciding where you want to play your movable chords, one general rule of thumb is that you want to try to play your chords all within the same area of the fretboard. So a lot of times where you play your chords in the song depends on where you play your first chord. And one thing that'll help a lot is mapping out your root notes first. So let's take a look at lines 1 and 2. First chord is a G major chord, so we need to find a G on either string 6 or string 5. On string 6, there's a G at the 3rd fret. On string 5, there's a G at the 10th fret. Now I like to play my chords more in the middle of the fretboard, so I'm going to start on this G at the 3rd fret. Otherwise, all my other chords are going to be way up high, maybe a little uncomfortable. So with that in mind, there's our G. The next chord is an E7. We need to find our closest E. Now, of course, there is an open E, but we're focusing on movable chords here. Now, that open E is on the 6th string, and then the other E on the 6th string is going to be up at the 12th fret. So we don't want that. We're going to want the E that's at the 7th fret. So G at the beginning to an E. And then we want to find the closest A for our A7 at the beginning of line 2. There's an A up at the 12th fret, but really the closest one is on the 6th string at the 5th fret. From there, there's a very close D for our D7 root. That's also at the 5th fret, but on the 5th string. And then back to a G, same G that we played earlier, and then back to the same D. Now let's put some chords to all that. Since our G at the 3rd fret is on the 6th string, we're going to be playing our 6th string major shape. The E root is on the 5th string, so we're going to be playing our dominant 7 chord with a root on the 5th string shape. The A7 is also a dominant 7 chord, but that's going to be on the 6th string, so we use our 6th string dominant 7 shape for the A7. That's at the 5th fret because that's where the A is. The D7, we're back to our root on the 5th string, so we'll use the same shape we use for the E7. And then back to that G, and then back to the D7. Now lines 3 and 4 are nearly identical to lines 1 and 2. The only difference is line 4 ends with a G7 where line 2 ends with a D7. So the only chord we need to figure out really is that G7 at the end of line 4. Now the G we're just playing right here at the 3rd fret 6th string. So it makes sense to play the G7 in the same spot, but this time using our dominant 7 shape with the root on the 6th string. Now that we've figured out where we're going to play these chords, let's just cycle through the chords in lines 1 through 4. We have G major, E7, A7, D7, G, back to the D7, then back to the same G, same E7, to the A7, D7, G, and then G7. We have a different set of chords in lines 5 and 6. Let's map out the root notes first. First chord of line 5 is a C major. We want to find the closest C to the G that we just played. There's a very close C on the 3rd fret, 5th string. And then we have an E7, and I would just play that same E7 we played before, so that's also on the 5th string at the 7th fret. Again, just finding our root notes. We have an A minor. So earlier we had an A7, now it's an A minor, but it's the same root. A at the 5th fret on the 6th string. And then we have a D7, just like we played before, on the 5th string. Same G we played before, and back to that same D7 we played before. So now we can figure out what chords we want to play with all that. Our C at the 3rd fret is on the 5th string, so that'll be the 5th string major shape. Same E7 we played before, playing that 5th string dominant 7 shape. The A minor, that is with the root on the 6th string, so we'll play our minor shape with the root on the 6th string, right there at the 5th fret, because that's where our A is. D7, same D7 we played before, and then the G, same G we played before at the 3rd fret, and then back to the D7. Let's cycle through the chords for lines 5 and 6 now. We have C, E7, A minor, D7, G, and D7. The last 2 lines, lines 7 and 8, are identical to lines 1 and 2, except we just end on a G chord quarter note instead of moving to a D7. So we really don't need to go over these chords here. It's just the same chords you played before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your assignment is to practice page 8 and to continue memorizing the notes on the 5th and 6th strings as needed. I've got a couple of videos that'll help you learn the fretboard. You'll find links for those in the description. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the free first Movable Guitar Chords booklet. Once you're comfortable with page 8, I'll see you on page 9. We're going to get into movable power chords.